Welcome to another exciting episode of Gimme 5. I'm Jack. Today we're all about the visual and performing arts. We're going to head on over to Carmel Valley to the Carmel Valley Art Association Spring Fling, meeting a bunch of artists and taking a look at their work. But let's start things off with a multimedia performer. We're heading on over to the South Bay for this interview. Here we are in San Jose, somewhere in the beautiful foothills on the east side. Can't tell you exactly where because it's the top secret compound of Timothy Drury. Good morning.
Top secret, huh?
Triple top secret.
Yeah, well, not anymore apparently. Yeah. But good morning. Good to see you, man. Nice to have you here.
What are we doing today?
You're going to ask me some questions about my background as an artist and my life, and I'm going to try to answer that the best I can and show you some of my work, play a little bit for you.
Let's finish this coffee and get busy.
Let's do it, man. All right. Dynamic, colorful images, abstract images, memory, people, the beauty of the world, shapes. There's a lot of motion. I'm trying to express the beauty that I see, to express things that I can't express verbally. With my images and my music, I try to translate that beauty and present my emotions up on the screen and through the speakers, and I'm hoping that it inspires you somehow and allows you to feel something in your heart. But before I explain more about myself as an artist, here's some background. So what are we talking about now? The bio, right? This is the bio? Your bio. Okay. Well, I've had the good fortune to play with some really fantastic acts. As a keyboard player, vocalist, I played with the Eagles, Don Henley. I co-wrote this song with Don, and it wound up on one of his greatest hits records. Stevie Nicks. This song was co-written with Stevie, and it was produced on her record by my old touring mate, Sheryl Crow. I played with Whitesnake. Great fun rock experience. I've co-written many songs and have been touring for years with Don Felder, who wrote Hotel California. Quite a broad list of artists that I've played with over the years. Let me tell you a little something about my multimedia performances, just to explain what it's all about. As an artist, what I do is combine all of my gifts. As a composer, photographer, videographer, what you will be experiencing is a collection of my images projected on large sheer fabric screens. You're getting a very dramatic screen effect behind me while I perform music that I've composed. I've had the opportunity to travel extensively around the world and take pictures and videos in different countries, different seasons, different time zones, different hemispheres. It makes sense to put it all together and bring it to concert venues, to get an audience to be moved by what they're seeing, to be moved by the melodies that I've created. That's my intent as an artist, is to share the beauty that I see, to share my vision as a photographer and a composer and as a musician. There's a range from very, very delicate melodies to atmospheric things to very intense, very dark, harmonic, orchestral pieces as well. So it's a very dynamic, dramatic, thought-provoking, cinematic event. This is what the experience of being alive on Earth looks like to me. Just feel pure beauty, the silence of that and the power of that as a cathartic event. I would love for them to feel what I'm feeling. I want to inspire people, and I'm looking forward to more opportunities to do just that. Yeah, I know. I got to think about my mom. She was awesome. She was inspiring. A lot of my work comes from her, memories of childhood. The first time I ever played a piano was at my grandmother's house up in Oregon, in Salem, Oregon, and she had a player piano there. When I was a little child, apparently I touched the piano really delicately, really gently, and the grandmothers conspired and thought, okay, this kid should play the piano. This is good. It's a good sign. So then, when I was about 5 years old, a piano showed up at my house, And about a week later, a teacher showed up, and then he started to teach me little pieces like Camptown Races and, you know, Pig in a Poke, stuff like that. And then there'd be light classical pieces, solfeggetto, some Bach here and there, Fir-Elise, you know, the classics of easy classical playing. And I learned how to read pretty well. Then what I would do is put LPs of my favorite bands on the turntable, and I'd put it on top of the piano and try to play each song on both sides, side A and B, of Yes or Pink Floyd or Deep Purple, and see what I could do on the piano to try to match what I was hearing, so my ears got really, really developed.
Jack Peterson here. We're on the streets. We're in Carmel Valley. It's the Carmel Valley Art Association. They got a big spring open house, kind of big showcase going today, and the man who knows what's going on is John Aliotti. Tell us, John, what is going on here today?
Well, what we do here is every quarter we have an opening showing our new artists, and today we're going to be featuring 3 artists. We have Mr. Rickert, a Kathryn Greenwald, and a Michele Alcantara, who's a sculptress from Moss Landing. We try and stay within a 50-mile radius of the area so that we can really say that we are featuring local artists. Everyone that's showing in the gallery works in the gallery. They all put in 1 day a month. And so someone can come in and ask the artist on that day, you know, what it is that makes them do what they do. So it's an opportunity for people to see local artists. And on an occasional Saturday, we'll have artists in the gallery painting or doing what they do. So it's a good opportunity to see local work.
Now, John, if somebody wants to find out more about your Carmel Valley Art Association, how might we do that?
Well, they can go to carmelvalleyartassociation.com, where they will see on the front page a display of the gallery, and they'll be able to go and hit on each artist individually that'll review the work of that particular artist. And if they wish, they can give us a call. We can make arrangements, and pieces can be purchased through the website.
Excellent. Should we go take a look at some stuff?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Let's go. You are one of the featured artists here, I understand, Michele.
I am. I was accepted into the Carmel Valley Art Association about 2 months ago, and I'm pleased to be here. The artists here are amazing. The work here is amazing. And tonight they're having an opening for 3 of us that were just recently accepted into the gallery.
Well, I'm wearing the right outfit for this today, aren't I?
You definitely are. This is a new series of work, my equine series. Hopefully, a couple weeks, there's going to be a 6-foot-tall one outside. So hopefully from the street, it might bring a few more people this way. The equine series, everything I do is made out of found objects. When I went to grad school, I didn't have the money to cast bronze or even aluminum, so I started working with found objects, and it became my way. It's so familiar to me. I can integrate just about anything. I have a full metal fabrication studio on my property, which allows me to create whenever I want to, and I can't get enough of it. It's my passion, and I love it. I love it.
How might we see more of your work? Your website, perhaps?
My website is currently down. Should be up within the next month or so. I am in another gallery in Moss Landing. If anybody's in that particular area, it's called Dos Galleria, or Galleria Dos, one of those two. There's a different series of work there as well, and I think it is one of the most joyful experiences making this type of work. Children relate to it.
Is your garage completely devoid of all tools because of this?
Yes. I ran out, but horses, generally I make them out of hammerheads. So yeah, as you can see, I've used up every hammer. My husband has no tools left, but we're very fortunate. We have a couple of acres, and all very well organized with all of my found objects. So,
well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
So much. Appreciate it.
We're back with another one of our featured artists. This time it's Mary Maston. Mary, you local?
Yes, I am. I live down in Big Sur.
All right. Tell us about your work.
I have been working with glass here for about 7 or 8 years now, and at first I started out by fusing pieces of glass together so that I could have shape and form and beautiful colors. So the piece you see there called Breaking Point, that's where I've taken pieces of glass and I've fused them together into shape. The same for many of the other pieces you see, but what you also see to the left here, the flat pieces, as well as many of the others, I'm working now completely with powdered glass, where you take sheet glass, cut your shape, and then you make either powder wafers. The dog is where I've taken wafers that I've made out of powdered glass ahead of time, put on the sheet glass, fused it, and that gives you the unusual design that you see there, where you have some holes and some spaces, and it's very interesting. What you also see here is an example there, the white one. That's where I have taken bigger pieces of glass, not the powders, but little Fritz we call them, and I've constructed these flowers, and then I have put them onto that flat piece when everything was finished, ready to go. The far piece where you see it looks like a big jellyfish, totally made out of powder wafers. I try to have some smaller things that would appeal to people also, where I might have cheese plates, night lights. You can see the little corkers. Those are some little wine cork bottles made, little draped vases where I've put them over a form and they've slumped into that particular shape. I started out actually as a painter, working with watercolors and acrylics and oils. I was not a tremendous painter, but I was okay. And I just took a class at MPC probably about 6 years ago, where it was an introduction to fusing glass, and wow, what an amazing class that was. Gave all my paints away, and now I am totally only doing glass. It's wonderful. I love it.
It's beautiful. It's fantastic. And is there a website where we can see more, or maybe you want to buy some of these?
Yes, www.mastonartglass.com.
We're back with another featured artist. It's Kathryn Greenwald. Hi, Kathryn. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
And tell us about your work and how you became one of our artists here.
Well, I've been working as a painter for probably close to 40 years, and the focus of my work has always been color. Now, this new work that's being displayed here at the gallery are monotypes. They're based on painting on plexiglass, and then the images are run through a press. There's only one impression, so they're unique works of art, unlike other printmaking processes in which you get multiples. I like working with monotypes because it allows me to both add on colors and take away colors. I'm also interested in the pressure of the press and how that influences the image. I live in Carmel Valley. All the images that you can see on the wall here are based on my hikes and time out of doors along the Carmel River, Garza's Canyon, up Garza's Creek. I take photos, I draw, I paint outside, I use all this material, and then I work in a studio situation when I'm creating the monotypes. I use the photos as a reference, and I'm not trying to duplicate them, I'm trying to create something new. I value the energy within each brush stroke and how it relates to all the brush strokes within the image. I'm also very focused on color relationships, warm against cool, complementary colors, less saturated colors next to more saturated colors, so that there's that vibrancy and energy within the picture plane.
It's amazing, and it all shows here. It all shows here, Kathryn.
Thank you so much.
Now, you made a living out of this for the last 40 years.
I've been an art educator, and so actually it's always been on the side. Now that I'm retired from teaching, I'm able to give it my full-time focus. So I can't say that it supported me, no.
Okay, well, since we're an educational station, Comcast 26, what advice would you have for up-and-coming artists?
I think that you need to really focus on finding your own identity with the work by spending a lot of time at it.
Hi, I'm Shelley Aliotti, and I'm one of the co-owners of Carmel Valley Art Association. We've had it for 7 years. I was born in Carmel, my husband was born in Monterey, and I was raised here. My father was an architect, my brother's an architect, and I do a lot of architectural work. I love taking pictures of buildings when we travel. I do a lot of architecture in Europe, in Italy, and Mexico. And I also take pictures of the peninsula because it feeds my soul. And we have 4 children and 6 grandchildren. And tonight we're having our spring artist reception. We do these quarterly during the year. We have 40 artists. They're all local artists. And we have jewelers and sculptors and oil and watercolor and every kind of art you can imagine. Not only do we feature the artwork of 40 plus artists, we also feature my work when I have time to do it. I do all the graphic design and all the publicity and marketing for the gallery, but when I can go out and do my photography, I love to do it. We do digital photography. I do it on the computer, I take it digitally, and then I play with it. As a graphic designer, I add borders, and I make, for example, this border here is the middle of the sunflower. So I take all kinds of things and just play with them. So I call it a digital painting because I paint with my computer. Well, when I was in college, they didn't have computers. That's how old I am. But I was an English major and an art minor at San Francisco State. And that was a long time ago in the 70s. And then I went back to school in 2000 to take Italian and Photoshop. I stayed for 3 years and got 2 degrees in studio art and in graphic design. So I think it was important that I took the graphic design because I wouldn't have been able to use all the Photoshop and all the games and whistles and all that. But, you know, I think that just being an artist is just being aware of what's around you and having all the opportunities and all the materials to use it. If you want to see more about what's happening here at the gallery, we have a website. It's carmelvalleyartassociation.org. Or you can follow us on www.facebook /Carmel Valley Art Association. And we talk about all the different artists. When there's their birthday, we talk about it. When there's artists painting in the village, we take pictures. We have so many things. We have 600 followers as of today. I'm so excited. We've been up a couple months. So thank you very much for interviewing all of us.
Hi. Hi. You're Shelley.
I am Shelley Cost.
Tell us about you, your artwork, and everything we need to know.
My artwork is in this gallery is mostly regional. As you can see, I've got paintings of the Mission Ranch and some local sheep and the Carmel Mission. I also show in a gallery in Carmel and also in Pebble Beach.
How long you been doing this? You look pretty good.
Thank you. I've been painting since I was about 11. I actually sold my first painting. We had an art gallery in Carmel for about 30 years, James Peter Cost Gallery.
Okay, cool. Was public education art training in your upbringing?
Definitely. I went to Carmel High School, and then I went to Monterey Peninsula College and to UCLA and graduated as an art major.
And here it is, been a big part of your life.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
Can we find more of your work? And maybe if we wanted to buy something, where could we find it?
You may go to shelleycost.com.
That's it, shelleycost.com.
And it's Shelley with an EY.
Okay, I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, great.
Thank you for your time.
Nice to meet you.
We have another featured artist here at the Carmel Valley Art Association Spring Fling. It's Patty. How do I say your last name?
Gagliotti.
There we go. You must be Italian?
I married that one.
Okay. Well, tell us, you're an artist. You're a featured artist. How does that happen?
I've been painting ever since I was a child. But when I retired as a school administrator, I took the advantage to go ahead and do what I love to do. So, and I like to paint the local things, you know, the barns, the cattle, and then the Carmel rocks and the sea. Local things that interest me.
We have another featured artist to talk to. It's Sam Johnston. Hi, Sam. How you doing?
Hello. Wonderful.
You're a local guy. You're a Carmel Valley guy. How long you been here?
I've been living here for about 14 years.
How long you been doing art?
Since I was about maybe four or five.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So what was your inspiration? When did you say, I am going to be a painter? 4 years old?
No, that happened about 1994, actually. I was in and out of it for years and years and years, and I moved to New York City and started taking classes at the Art Students League and decided to stay with it.
And here you are, man. You're showing here at the Carmel Valley Art Association?
Yes.
And you've got some pretty good stuff. This must take you a long time to do one of these.
It does. It takes me longer than most artists take.
But the result is fantastic and lots of detail.
Yes.
Now you do consignments, or how do you work?
Both. I do landscapes that I'm inspired to do, and then I do commissions as well. I do portraits. Here's an example of one of my portraits.
How was public education instrumental in your art career?
Well, actually, we happen to have very good art and music in our school systems in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I grew up. We had art all the time, and so it was a very important part of my life as a kid. That was my favorite class. I was one of the best artists in school. Like, you know, most people who turn into artists were usually good when they were kids. And it was very important to me.
How do we find out more information about you, Sam the artist? Do you have a website or something we can go and shop and buy your paintings?
Yes, you can look at www.samjohnstonpaintings.com.
And everything is there?
Paintings are on there. You can contact me. Yes.
All right. Well, that's it. I'll put it up here on the screen, and you'll be getting phone calls in about 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
We have another featured artist here at this big art event, and it just happens to be my neighbor. Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Carvell. Fred, how you doing?
I'm just doing wonderfully. I appreciate the opportunity to be seen on your channel.
Good.
This is so.
I want to know how long you've been doing art and how you're making a living at this.
Well, I don't know that many artists make a living at it, but I've been painting since I was a very young man in my early 20s, but I didn't take it up as a full-time occupation until actually I finished my other careers in education. But I've been painting for the last 10 years steadily and in galleries in Carmel Art Association, in the Carmel Valley Art Association, where we are now. And I've been fortunate that they've accepted my work, and it's grateful that people have accepted my art and taken it to their heart. It's bright, it's colorful. Most of my paintings are small, but they speak loudly. As John Steinbeck once said, if you're going to paint, paint loudly, and that's what I try to do with primary colors. And I'm happy to be involved in the art world. The people I've met in the art world are just grand people. They've all been kind and helpful, and I've learned a lot from the other artists in the association here, and I'm glad that this little gallery here in Carmel Valley gives the opportunity for about 30 to 40 artists to show their work and to have the opportunity for people to see it. Beyond that, I just keep painting until I find myself fully gratified by the opportunity to do this type of thing. It's fulfilling after having a number of other careers, but this is a culmination of what I hope to be the work of my life. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have a website we can go see more of your work?
There is a website. It's called, believe it or not, fredcarvell.com, and in which there are a few paintings shown on the web. But basically, it's through the galleries that my work is primarily shown.
Another featured artist is Reid Woodward. Hi, Reid. How you doing?
Hi, good. I love this place. There's, the artists are really good people. Like being around the artists, and I like the spot.
This is a great spot. Tell us about your history of art and how did you get into this?
It was a cruise many years ago, and we were getting on the ship, and there was a little watercolor kit that someone was selling in a store, and I thought, I've always wanted to try that, and I bought a little book of paper and that kit, and that was like 20 years ago, I guess. It just, it got out of hand. So many of these things, like a number of these are from Point Lobos, and I'm a docent there and a guide, like an interpretive guide. So I see parts of that place. It's such a gorgeous place. So that's been one of the things that and I love the Carmel Beach. My dad was a professional photographer, taught me a lot of things about composition and color and that kind of thing.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a website where people can find out more or maybe purchase some of your stuff?
Yeah, it's just reidwoodward.com.
That's it?
That's it.
That's where you need to go. Reid, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.